So I told you guys about how I've been to India on a long trip, and I was there. I was there for about 40 days or so. I was working with a college. They did bachelor's, master's, and doctorates. It was internationally accredited, but in India it's pretty like backwards kind of stuff. Really, like they let me teach things. Like they allow a lot more things to happen over there, but. One of our like trips, we went out to see some sights in the country as like a reward for coming there and helping and whatever, because we did it all for free. But the trip we went to this like really nice restaurant in some kind of like monk reserve where all these monks were there, and we stop in this restaurant where it's just like a table, and they put out like a giant banana leaf like the size of a desk, and you get this banana leaf, they put all your food on it, and everything was like unknown. Like if you had to label each one, it would just be a question mark, like what am I eating here? And I'm like eating off this banana leaf, and it's all amazing food, like really good stuff, but there's like 10, you get like 10 dishes per meal in this part of the country. It's like a style of their meals, and it was really great, but it was so spicy. Like my stomach was just on fire, and of course when you're not used to that kind of thing, it causes some distress down the road. And so we continue on our trip. We're going down the highway, and I'm in some trouble. And we, get to this place. It was like a giant water dam, and the water dam. It isn't that tall, it's not like Hoover Dam, but it's really wide. It's like 2 miles wide or something. So you just like do a 360 and it feels like you're looking at the same thing all in a circle, but it's actually not a circle at all. But really pretty amazing place. But the first thing I was thinking of was getting to a bathroom. So I asked about the bathroom and I rushed down there, and they were all coming too, but I like ran. I ran to the public restroom, and it's like the toilets aren't the same in Asia. They're like some people call them squatty potties, but you basically have like a porcelain hole in the ground, and it has like places for your feet to stand, and then in the middle there's just like a toilet bowl, and there's no seat. You just like stand on top of this hole on the floor and use it. So I'm like, oh no, I've got to like take my pants off or something, and I'm just like staring at this thing, and I'm in distress. So, like I'm in trouble, and I'm like, all right, taking pants off, pants on. I hung them up on this hook, and I get in position here. I'm like, all right, time to get to work, and then, once I'm complete, I realize that there's no toilet paper here, and I remember that I've been bringing my own toilet paper places, and then I remember, oh yeah, but they use these faucet things, because they use their hands instead of toilet paper, and they rinse with water from a spigot. So this little tiny spigot like shoots out a little stream of water. Well, I turn the knob on the spigot, and it doesn't work. So I look to the left, and there's another spigot in the same stall. I'm like, nice, okay. I turn that knob. Spigot doesn't work.
Is this post taking care of yourself with your hands?
This is me still squatting on the floor.
Okay.
I haven't cleaned up yet. Haven't cleaned up yet. Still sitting there. And let me say, the food was pretty spicy. I'll just say that much.
Oh God.
But.
Asshole in flames.
Like singe the hair on the way out.
Yeah, it was
Red
like.
Ring of Death.
Yeah, it was rough.
Not from the Xbox.
Yeah. I'm sitting there like trying to figure this all out. I'm thinking back, like, how did I get in here? And there's no water and there's no toilet paper. And then I realized that all the guys that I was walking past when I came in had small buckets of water with them. But guess what? I didn't bring a bucket of water. And my Indian is, well, it's impossible to learn everyone's language, so basically it was going to be impossible for me to speak to anyone in there and get their bucket of water out of their stall. And I don't really want to share it, to be honest. So I was like, all right, I've got to think something up. And then I remembered I carry a passport and a checkbook and
Oh no.
like a wallet with money in it. And I'm like, all right. So I get out my checkbook, and there's plenty. Like, I never balance my checkbook, but there were plenty of pages that I didn't ever use. So I grabbed some pages from the checkbook, you know, doing some work. I get out of there, and I realize that I've been in there so long, like everyone that came with us is staring at me and laughing, and they're like pointing at me and stuff, and I'm like, oh man. And only one of them spoke English, which was the American guy I was there with, and he, yeah, he's a lot older than me, like 20 years older, and he's like, so, you have a little trouble in there. I'm like,
Oh my god.
yeah. He's like, well, if you go give money to that guy over there, he'll give you some soap. And I was like, okay, good. I went over and I like paid this guy like $5 for some soap.
Oh,
I'm like, all right.
that's
It's like
horrible.
one of the most awkward situations of my life. Like in this, I got the old checkbook joke over and over for months.
Oh.